Oh, there it goes.
Are we live?
It says we're live. I feel live. Yeah, I'm live. This ain't Memorex, people.
Everybody probably got tired of waiting on us.
Who we got?
Fifi and Still. Hey, if anybody was waiting on us, we've been having technical difficulties.
Yeah. She's streaming on an old laptop that my niece, I got her for her birthday a long time ago, and it's been through college, so God knows what's running on the background.
I didn't think we was going to get on there.
Yeah, well, we finally got it. Close that window. We're getting too much side light.
My sister-in-law, Carla, she wasn't able to make it tonight. They've got a litter of kittens that she's happened to take care of. But Kentucky Ranger's here. And we don't know how many people might show up.
There we go. All
Maria,
right.
Give me hugs. Hey, how are you doing?
Maria, how you doing?
It's good to see everybody here. And the family show of 4.
Family show of 4.
Hey, if anybody was...
We're waving back.
If anybody was waiting on us, I was supposed to start it at 7, and we had some major difficulties, technical difficulties. Old computer.
Well, let's tell the whole story. I was on my way here. I was going to be here about 10 to 7. I got to daydreaming. My mom called to see where I was at, and while I was on the phone, I passed by the exit before the exit I was supposed to get off of, and while I was on the phone, I got sidetracked. So when I hung up, I blew by the exit I should have got off of, and I'm sitting there daydreaming, blah, blah, blah. Listen to K-Love singing along. All of a sudden, the next exit comes up, and I'm like, oh, crap. I had to get off. I'm going to come all the way back. And then the laptop's acting goofy.
My mom said, he's about 4 minutes away.
I was. I was like 4 miles from the exit.
Oh, I love K-Love.
Yeah, K-Love's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, it's really neat. I'm glad to have my brother Kentucky Ranger on here.
There we go. Let's make it there. Now we can see
cool.
it. Yeah, who cares about what we look like? I want to see the chat.
Show me how you did that.
You hold down Control, and then you click plus or minus. So if you hold Control down, you click minus, it makes it smaller.
Man,
If you hit plus, it makes it bigger.
I have been straining my eyes to see the chat, and I didn't have to.
That's all you have to do.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway, I'm glad to have my brother Kentucky Ranger on here with me tonight. And if y'all have been watching some of the live streams I've been doing with Carla, we did 2. The first 2.
Oh, wait, before she goes, she ain't going to be here very long. Maria, we're in your prayers, and some of the things we're going to be talking about, it's important. So I wish you could stick around, but I understand you can't.
Yeah, when this goes to video, come back and watch it. It's a really interesting.
Everybody needs
serious
to check.
Conversation.
Everybody needs to check her channel out if you haven't checked her channel out. Rob, what you doing,
hey, Rob? Hey, the Stone Kingdom of, how do you say that?
YH.
Is it Yahweh?
Yahweh, I guess, kind of a Yahweh. Much love to you too.
Much love to everybody.
What are you doing, Rob? Lord, I'm missing the.
Rob, I've been missing your live streams.
Yeah, I've been missing the lunch with Rob, man. What's going on there?
He's chilling like a villain.
Chilling like a villain. I bet you are. Yahweh, yeah, that's okay. We got it. High five.
Yeah.
You leave me hanging.
But with my sister-in-law, we've been talking about some serious things about trusting God through grief. And then last week, she was talking about grieving somebody that's just passed away that was an ex. They were abusive, and the feelings that goes with that. We wanted Donald to get in here, and
I got a story.
He's got a story.
Oh, do I have a story?
You hear so much about women that are being abused. Men are ashamed and afraid to talk about the reversal of that.
Except me. I'm not ashamed to talk about it.
I've known a lot of men have been in relationships, whether by marriage or dating, that were abused.
Thanks, Stone Kingdom. Many prayers.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. You're in our thoughts and prayers too. And but
Don't hear me. Keep talking. I'm just.
But I wanted Donald to get on here.
You need to get closer. There we go.
And talk about his experience. I was there. I saw what a lot of it was going on, and it's a sad situation, needs to be talked about. So I'm gonna.
You weren't exactly there because nobody was there because she kept me from everybody.
Well, no, but I mean, I saw part of it.
Yeah, you saw part of it.
Yeah, nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors of anybody's situation.
Hello, old droner and Miss Droner. Who's that? Uh-oh. Oops. What was that?
I don't know.
Mr. Droner, where's your...
Here. I got a mouse.
Let's see what it says. What did it say, Rob? I'm curious.
He's nosy. He's got...
Oh, Rob's a good moderator, but yeah. Hello, old droner and Miss Droner. I don't even see any droners on here. What? Old droner? Do you see a... Let me look at the live chat. Is there somebody you've got blocked you didn't see? I don't know who the droner. Stone Kingdom, Michigander Man.
I'm dumb.
Fifi.
I'm slow. I don't know.
Old droner. I don't know. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Michael McReynolds, I don't know what you mean. I don't know if that was a joke. I don't get it, so neither one of us have a drone. So I don't know. If you want to stay, you can stay, but after 300 seconds, I'm sticking with Rob and what he's done there. Rob's a good mod. Yeah,
I like Rob.
He was on it too. Bam! It's like I was like, hello to Blink. Anyway, let's get to my story.
But anyway, nobody, when you're in a situation, the outside world doesn't know what goes on behind closed doors. And so I think more men need to talk about their situations.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not all women's bad and not all men's bad. It's just in this day and abuse is abuse. In this day and time, you don't know who you're dealing with until it's too late in a lot of situations. But anyway.
Plus, while you're going through it, you got the blinders on. All you focus on is that person. Mm-hmm. I love them. And then you get the idea they'll change. They'll change. I'll just keep being kind. I'll just keep being kinder, and they'll change. No, they won't.
Once an abuser. Now God can change a person.
God can change them. Yeah. But there's people can change.
They got to want to.
They have to want to, and they have to do it.
I was in an abusive situation myself, and like he said, you put the blinders on, and then and it's like, well, I'm trying to make it work, and my dad would be like, but you got to have something to work with.
Well,
and I didn't want to give up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I paid the price, and so did he. So
going through school, I was kind of backwards and shy, so I didn't really do much with girls. I mean, I dated a couple. That Carla, we dated in high school, but no, actually, I'm sorry, not Carla. It was two girls in high school that dated me and Carla. I wanted to date Carla, but this so-called best friend of mine, he sort of sidestepped me. But anyhow, and then when I got into truck driving, truck driving is not very conducive to dating. I mean, you're out on the road, especially when you're driving over the road. You ain't gonna find anybody, and
especially when you got your sister with you.
Yeah, she was with me on the truck for good Lord, what? Almost 4 months, 3 months.
I don't know. It was a long time.
It was fun though.
I enjoyed it.
But no, well, then what happened? So I didn't really think about it that much. I was young. I was out driving my truck, doing my thing, and then I turned 30, and I'm starting to think, this is kind of getting lonesome out here. And a few more years kind of went on, and then my career's changed. We moved back here in, what was it, 96?
95.
95, October 95.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, now I'm at a job. I'm a regional driver. I'm home every night or once a week. When I was running team, I'd be home every weekend. And when I was running single, I'd be home every night. Now I've got a chance at a social life. But I'm still, where do I go? What do I do? I don't want to hang out at bars. I tried that. This friend of mine, that was, and that's another story. But what I started doing, I think I was about 34, 35, and I got into the dating scene, Match.com, and well, good Lord, what was it? Plentyofishes.com and
Lonely Hearts Club. I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, what happened? I was meeting women, but they, whoo, I feel bad for women out there that have to get on those sites. I shouldn't say have to. It's not like we're, oh my God, we're so desperate. The people that get on there are so crazy.
Well, they make it look good, almost commercial.
Well, it can be. Plenty of Fish. Yeah, Rob. Yeah, I was on Plenty of Fish. But I'm trying to think there was another one. Oh, eHarmony.
Who's your back, Odie?
Who's your back, Odie?
Hey.
How are you doing?
It's good to see you. I'm glad you stopped by.
Yeah, Farmers Only didn't exist back then because we're into what, 98, 97, somewhere in there.
Something. Yeah, about 98.
About 98, somewhere. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Farmers Only didn't. That's actually a pretty cool site. You know, if you're looking for somebody who's into the country life kind of thing. But I think that'd probably be where I'd go if I was single. But I'm old fart. I'm still married. I plan to stay married.
I'm glad you stopped by, and I'll check your channel out for sure.
I take it you're from Indiana. You must be a Hoosier. Whoops. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Get that.
Yeah, get the pop-up. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. And the stuff's going on. Well, anyhow, I was meeting girls or women, you know. I mean, Lord, I was what, 33, 34?
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, now here's a rule that I learned early on dating. First of all, I had one spot, and it was TGI Fridays in Lexington, Kentucky. That's where we would meet. And about the third meetup, I made a mistake, and the gal that I was meeting saw me in my car, and it hit me. I was like, oh, I can't be doing that. Plus, I parked right in front of her. As soon as she got out of the car, she's like, you almost hit me. I said, no, I didn't almost hit you. Moved here from Arkansas in 96.
Oh, that's
Razorback, half Hoosier. So you're a Hoosier back. Oh, Hoosier back. I get it now. That's cool. I like that.
I like that.
But
yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, she's like, you almost hit my car. So I didn't almost hit your car. And then she looked down. I had a light up Rusty Wallace license plate on the front of my car. I drove a Thunderbird. Oh, you're one of those NASCAR fans. I'm like, oh, God. But anyway, 2 rules for anybody dating on these dating sites. First, you find a public place to meet them. Oh, actually, let me go through a couple of rules. Let's see. So, rule 1, never use your real name. Okay.
Alias.
And Match.com, all of them, I was Kentucky Ranger on all of them. I never used my real name. Secondly, meet in a public place. Never say, well, come on over to my house, or I'll come meet you at your house, or, you know, no. Number 3, the place that you meet, never park at that place. See, now, TGI Fridays, there's a Barnes & Noble bookstore behind them. Well, I would park at the Barnes & Noble bookstore, and I'd walk to the TGI Fridays. Plus, I'd show up a good half hour early. So then, and then they'd be like, I'd tell them what I was wearing. I'd be like, well, I'll be at the bar waiting on you. And
that's an awesome name.
Kentucky Ranger sounds like. Well, I tell you what, Hoosier back, the way that came about is, yeah, Rob. Anyhow, let me finish this real quick. So, but that way, when they meet you, and if it's not going so good, and you're leaving, and you kind of feel weird about the person, wait for them to leave, and then when you leave, make sure you kind of go in behind them and make sure they get in their car and leave, so they're not watching you. And then slink back to your car in the next parking lot over. Because I tell you, people are strange.
I was looking back to see.
If you're looking back and see. Anyhow, the Kentucky Ranger thing. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the divorce and everything. Is she locked my AOL account out. So Kentucky Ranger was my AOL handle. Now, how I got Kentucky Ranger, I live in Kentucky. I drove a Ford Ranger. I was looking for a handle on AOL, and everybody back in the day, just plain handles were hard to come by. Because I think my original was Utah Reject. That was my original CB handle.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Well, anyhow, that was all taken up. So I tried. Well, I'll try Utah Reject too. Well, no, that didn't work. So I finally found that. How long did it take you to kind of come up with that plan? Third date. That third date, she's seen me. ACJS. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, it's good to see you.
Awesome.
I'm glad you stopped
Anyhow,
by.
yeah, it was the third date. She was the one, and I was like, I can't let people see what I drive. And I'm a dude. I could eat women. Ooh, that's spooky. In fact, you know what I would do if I was a woman? Now, here's the way I think if I was a woman. First, I'm gonna meet you in a public place. Second, I'm gonna park about 5 miles away. I'm gonna catch an Uber to where I'm gonna meet you.
Yeah.
And then when I leave, I'm gonna call an Uber and take me back to where my car's actually parked. Because I'll tell you, it's good to be safe and sorry.
Did I tell you about the time I was in the dating site back in the 70s?
Oh, that was ridiculous. Of course, we didn't have the internet back then.
No,
all the people she met on that. It was video dating, wasn't it?
No, it was just this
old
woman.
They didn't even have video. Yeah, no, you just filled out a questionnaire.
And she'd called me and said that she wanted me to go up to Skype.
Yeah.
And he's from this other country, and I didn't question it.
Yeah.
Normally, I met in public places. See, I was like 18 and stupid.
Yeah, this was.
And I let my guard down and decided to tell this guy where I lived. And I was living with a roommate. And
this was the 70s.
We were on the 4th floor, and our window.
Yeah, late 70s, wasn't
it? 78.
8? Yeah, 78.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And we could see the road from our apartment. Oh my gosh. This is no joke, and I'm not making fun of nobody. Don't get me wrong, but this guy was a pimp. They sent a pimp to my apartment. He was decked out like the pimps in the 70s.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
And then
I never met him, but I heard about him.
I was just trying to be really nice and try to get rid of him until I could get him out of the apartment. And then when I was supposed to go on a date with him, my girlfriend that I was rooming with told him that I'd left town. He wasn't buying it. So we started.
She don't live here no more.
Do not give a person your address.
What do you mean she don't live here no more? She's looking at me out the window.
Don't never give a person your address. I was stupid. It was in the 70s before the internet.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was a mess.
But yes, none of that was working. And so anyway, I met this gal at a truck stop. It's a little truck stop we used to stop at on our way to Chicago about every night. And we got to talking and everything. Well, it just kind of, meshed. She seemed really nice, and she actually acted like she was interested in me. That hadn't happened in a long time. So yeah, we went out on a few dates and got to know each other, and eventually got married. Of course, it was 4 months. I mean, it was quick.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
And we were married about 4 years. And in that 4 years, she had me. I was separated from my family.
We didn't see him much.
I got to see him, Christmas, for about 3 hours.
But I could tell when he was over here that something wasn't right.
Yeah, and everybody around me knew something was up.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, blinders were on, and I didn't see it. What's your red button? Oh, okay. Who's back? Cool.
I'll absolutely go and check your channel.
Yeah, the first couple of years, everything was cool, and I don't know. There were just strange little things would go on here and there that was happening, and she had 3 sons. One of them, he was gone. I don't know. He'd pop in every once in a while. So she had 2 that was with us all the time. And as soon as the youngest turned 18, she really flipped the script on me and really started getting abusive. And she found a dude on the AOL, like a gaming chat thing. Y'all from Lexington? Yeah, kind of close.
Pretty close.
Yeah, about 45, 50 miles from Lexington.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was on the AOL game channel. I don't even know if AOL still has that anymore. But she met this goofy dude. His name is
Mental Sunshine.
Your Mental Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyhow, they were doing their thing, and
hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Bowker? I don't want to pronounce that one.
I'd say Bowker.
I appreciate you stopping by. Anybody that I'm not supported to on here, I'll absolutely go and check out your channel when we're off of here.
Just south of Bloomington. Oh, Bloomington, yeah. No, exactly. You're not that far. You're halfway between. Well, no, let's see, Bloomington.
How far up in there is that?
It's kind of like here's us, and here's Indianapolis, and Bloomington is like kind of over here somewhere.
So it's not too far.
I'm trying to think. Is it Champlain or Champaign, Indiana? Is kind of in that area. I haven't driven a truck in so long. I used to drive routes up to Indiana. It's okay, however you like. Okay. So it's either Bowker, Boker. That's Illinois. Oh yeah, that's right. That's Illinois. See, it's been a while. I became disabled in 2007, so Lord, those memories are fading. I used to know all them areas up in there. Yeah, What city's close to that? How far are you from Indianapolis? Halfway between Indy and... Oh, okay, yeah. Because I used to pick up parts for Toyota, and that name, it seems like somewhere real close in there, I used to pick up parts from a factory for Toyota Georgetown. But anyhow, she got into Princeton. Oh, okay. She got into cahoots with this dude, and about the time, I'll tell you what, this is how God really helps. And I know sometimes things happen and people, why didn't God help me? I don't know. All I know is
good things or bad things happen to good people.
I
we don't
was
know.
randomly cleaning the computer out one day because it was running real slow and acting goofy. Princeton's at 12. Oh yeah, that's right, Princeton. Yeah, okay, yeah, they got a little. It's transmission plant. They haven't. Or is that no? Wait a minute. That's West Virginia. Princeton. I know I used to pick up there. Can't remember what they made up there though. I mean, they're all over the place. But anyhow, her and this dude, I caught the emails between the two of them, and what they were planning on doing is he was going to come to town. And that's another thing is a couple of weeks before all this went down, she kept asking me, how much do you have in your retirement fund? Well, I've got this much. Well, what happens if you was to die? I said, well, you'd get it. Oh, and does your company have life insurance, don't it? I said, yeah, $10,000 policy. Oh, okay. Well, what happens if you die? And I said, well, you'd get it because you're my spouse. Well, I'm looking at these emails, and what God up above, it didn't happen.
Yeah, it was close.
But we don't set out to get into relationships like that.
Nobody
it's
does.
just the other person. If they're not who they say they are, but they're something else, and some people be like, well, I told you not to go hang around that person. Well, when you fall in love with somebody, like I said, then blinders come on, and you don't know what's going on,
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasted about 4.5 years of my life. Well, about 5 years, because we dated we dated about 5-6 months, something like that.
I think so.
Anyhow, it was about 4.5, 5 years. And she did all this, pulled it all. Most people, when they turn 40, you get a black birthday card that says who you turned 40 and everything. No, what I got when I turned 40 is my ex-wife trying to kill me. So happy 40 to me. And then I got onto a rebound, and I tried that dating thing again. And I tell you what, the rules about don't date bare minimum 1 year after something like that happens is so true. Because after about 4 months, I started dating again, going to these dating sites, meeting these ladies. And I did meet a really nice gal, and we dated for about 3 weeks. But she was talking to my friends when we was discussing what had happened, and they all told her, and she was telling me, "Listen, we got to cut this off." She says, "Because it's too soon." Of course, I'm sitting there thinking, "No, please, 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 no." And then this friend of mine, he introduced me to this one gal. Well, she came along, and and so she's doing this thing. We dated about 3 weeks, got married, stayed married about 3 weeks, got divorced. So that was classic rebound, very classic. Oh, what we got here?
Oh,
okay, AJ.
That's fine. I'm glad you stopped by, and I hope you have an awesome evening.
Rob knows your name. I can't. I have a hard time remembering names. Just call you Exploring, because ACGS, that takes too long. Call you Exploring J. There we go. That'd be my nickname for you, Exploring J.
Rob said his ex was very abusive.
Yeah, Rob, I tell you what, because I'm getting into the heat of talking about this, and I'm losing track of the.
Oh, Tanya.
Tanya, okay, I'm sorry.
I'll have to remember
Tanya,
that.
Yeah. In fact, from now on, I probably will remember that, because usually it has to click in my brain before I remember it. But yeah, Rob, I tell you, it happens to men. I'm not afraid to talk about it.
No, and more men should.
And if people want to look at you other guys and say, "Oh, you're so thin-skinned and you're such a wussy and you need to grow a pair and stop." When you get in a relationship with somebody, you're in it for the right reasons. At least you are. I was. I fell in love with her and her kids. We got married. Oh, and another thing she did in those 4.5 years is basically financially ruined me. But that's a whole different story. But the second one, she kind of knew what she was doing. She manipulated me. But
my husband,
that was such a short-term thing, and I snapped out of it so quick. But
my husband that passed away a few years ago, this woman that he got involved with before he met me.
We'll see you, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Be careful out there on that road.
Yeah. He got involved with this woman, and I think a lot of people knew about us before he met me.
Yeah.
And he was basically married to her for 6 months. Within 6 months, she was verbally abusive to him, bankrupted him.
Yeah.
And it was a mess. And I'm really, honestly, tell you the truth, when we first met, it hadn't been all that long since he divorced her, and I'm really surprised that he even trusted me after what he went through with her.
Yeah, but see, now there's happy endings to all of this crap, just like with Rob and with me.
And me.
And you. Is after all those years of all that going on, I didn't meet her. Actually, Carla found me, and she found me through classmates.com. I got on there under my high school. She got in there and she seen me. She said, "Hey, you remember me?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I remember you." And then we talked for about 1.5 years. And and I drove down to Florida to see she was in an abusive relationship.
I went with him.
She got out of an abusive relationship. She got into another one with this creep. And me and her borrowed my dad's pickup truck, and we rented a U-Haul, went down to Florida, and it was Lakeland. Yeah, Lakeland, Florida. We drove straight through about 19 hours.
It was a long time.
Anyhow, we loaded her stuff up. And
kidnapped her.
Yeah, kidnapped her. We brought her back up here. And as soon as we crossed the Kentucky state line, we stopped at the Welcome Center, and I got on one knee, and I said, "You wanna?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah." And
that's been, Lord, how long?
14 years.
It was before Dad died. See, my dad's been gone 11, and it was before he died, so.
Got to go. Oh, okay, Rob.
Hey, Rob, I'm glad you stopped by.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
But yeah, Rob, you understand. So, you're one of the guys that gets it. You get into a relationship for all the right reasons, and then it falls apart. Now, there's certain relationships where nobody ever gets abusive, but it just don't work. And it's like,
yeah,
you get to the point, it's like, it's a mutual thing.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay. But yeah, it's kind of like we can't keep doing this.
Mm-mm.
So it's not that all relationships end on a bad note, but that's just like my second wife. I told her, I says, it's not you, it's me. I shouldn't have done that. And I'm sorry. So that, and there was no abuse. Well, yeah, actually there was, because she was kind
Verbal.
of yeah. But anyhow, I don't hold any ill will. Oh, and another thing, as far as grieving those relationships, it's okay. I last that long because I was in it for the right reasons, and all of those years were wasted because of her.
It's just like when I left Anton.
Yeah.
That's been 28, 29 years ago since we were divorced. And it took me a long time before
There you go, Rob.
got over that.
Yeah. I like that.
What?
The pothole ridden road to you. That's a good country song. We're going to have to sit down. We're going to have to write a country song, Rob. Oh, that pothole ridden road to you. It tore my car up, but I still love you. I don't know.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry.
That's right. You've got to laugh. Crying's fine, but you gotta find a happy spot. Hey, Maria, welcome back. But yeah, you've definitely got to find a happy spot. You can't stay in that crying. I mean, you got a right to cry. You can cry, but when you get done crying, you dry them tears up, and then you got to move forward. You've got to, because if you don't, you'll destroy yourself.
I know a guy, a friend of mine, years ago, back in the 80s, who got in a kind of a bad relationship.
Take care, Rob.
Yeah, bye. And this person was doing him pretty bad. Instead of just holding back and trying to get over it, he committed suicide.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to his funeral, and suicide's never the answer.
No.
And there's help.
I remember him. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, there's help out there.
Yeah.
And but I don't know, when you're having stuff like that done to you, and it just does something to your mind.
Oh, really? It affects you.
It does. It affects
I'll tell you what.
When
I was going through what I did with my first wife, I was on the interstate quite a few times, feeling so down about myself. I felt like taking that truck and just driving it in right off the road over a cliff.
I went through that. Yeah.
But you can't give up.
No, never give up.
You never give up.
Might hit a bump in the road. It slows you down, but don't never give up. Because that person that done that to you,
They don't care.
They don't
sleep
care.
Like babies.
They're going to go on just like my first husband. He could have cared less what he did to me. And by the time I left him, I was a mental wreck.
Yeah.
Now, the best revenge to me is success.
To be happy. Live a happy life. That's the best.
And to get over them and don't never look back.
Yeah, that's the best revenge.
Yeah.
That's another thing, is don't be vengeful.
Mm-mm.
Just continue your life, and you be happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
And who cares about them? Because whatever's going to happen to them is going to happen to them. And as far as they're concerned, they might say they forget about you, but I guarantee you, they spend the rest of their life, they think about you. Especially when you've been with them for years.
My first husband, he waited right up until 3 days before I was fixing to ship off to basic training at Lackland Air Force Base. And then he comes crying, want me back. It was too late. Too little, too late.
Well, federal government's got a say in that. It'd be like, you go AWOL, that's a federal offense. You go to prison.
A person can only do you so bad so long. And once that love is killed, it's killed.
See, if you remember, that's one reason you stayed on that truck with me all that time, is because you always kind of going through a little rocky.
A big rocky.
And then
so I hit the road with
and after about 2 or 3 weeks on the road, he got mad. You come home now. Well, she got upset. I was like, well, you stay out here as long as you want.
So I ended up
then what happened? And here's another thing, God stepping in. We were going to try to get back home after about 2 months. Well, the company kept sending me everywhere but by the house. And I live in Salt Lake City.
we'd get as
We're
close
the crossroads of the West. I mean,
we'd get as close as New Mexico,
yeah.
and then they'd ship him back
Ship
east.
him somewhere, or ship me somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And
I enjoyed it.
by the time we got back home, I think he was really missing her bad. He's like, you got it. Well, I'll get you a bus ticket, and you just drop her off at a bus station. I mean, we're almost to that point. But
leaving that abusive marriage was
all kinds of stuff popping up.
This is an old laptop. It's my daughter's. I'm going to have to get Kentucky Ranger here to do something with it.
I'm going to have to reformat it.
But you know, it was hard to leave that marriage because it was my first serious relationship. We were married when I was 18, almost 19.
Young love, and you were enamored with him because
I loved him.
You was in love with him back when you was what?
12.
12?
So he was 12 years older than me. And I had a crush on him when I was about 12. And then we started dating when I was like 17.
Oh, it's wonder our dad didn't kill him when he found out that he wanted to date her.
Dad should have. You know, I was a dumb teenager.
Yeah.
I'm not saying teenagers are dumb, but you know, you can't put a 50-year-old head on a 17-year-old.
Oh, no, teenagers are stupid. I was stupid. Who in here, I'll tell you what, type 1 in there if you weren't stupid as a teenager.
Oh,
I don't think we were all stupid when we were teenagers. Tell him about
the time when I first got my driver's license. He was with me.
Oh, Lord.
The very first day that I got turned loose by myself, and he was with me. Tell him what happened.
But what happened, the lady backed into her and just bumped the car. Didn't damage anything. And we drove over to the gravel pits, and she was like, we get out of the car, I'm going to drive it over the edge. She's going to kill herself. She didn't want to face our dad. I'm like, sure, he didn't do anything. Come on. So we went home, and he really didn't freak out. He went out and looked at it. He's like, oh, I don't see any damage. There wasn't any damage. Well, anyway, the lady called, and she was going to sue him for all this money. Oh, and they totaled my car, and they did this, and they did that. And then he got mad at her and told the insurance company what was going on, and they came out and took some pictures of our car, or his car. I don't think anything ever come of it, but apparently she took her car and backed it into a brick wall or something.
Totaled it.
I'm like, lady, you're crazy. Anyway, that's being a teen. That's being
I
stupid.
had so many fender benders when I was between 16 and 18 years old.
Oh, she did. What was the cursed car? It was the curse of the '68 Chevelle Malibu. And my dad took his car, sweet '68 Chevelle Malibu. It had a 307 2-speed Muncie transmission. Sweet car. He went out, and the guy that he bought it off of, he ran a truck stop called Echo Junction. I don't even know if that place is still in business.
It was when we left.
Oh, I love that truck stop. You stop there all the time going out of town because they had the best French dip sandwiches. Well, anyway, his daughter had wrecked it a couple of times, and he was getting rid of it. Well, my dad bought it for her, and he took it to this hot rod shop, and he had it
two-tone blue.
Oh, beautiful. God, I wish we had pictures of that.
Lakers, those side.
Had lake pipes on it. Beautiful car. Every car around her, she was like a magnet. Smack, bang. Every time she turned around, somebody was hitting her. We was going to Kmart.
Hey, Farmall fanatic.
How you doing? We was on our way to Kmart. We was cruising up the street, and this dude's in a camper.
Oh, he starts
backing up. Well, Shree stops, and he just comes on. She's laying on the horn, and blam, right into the front of the car.
Yep.
And the guy got out, and he's like, "Oh Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do." He says, "The insurance company told me that next accident they were going to can me." Oh, how many accidents have you had? And he was like, "Well, this is about my 12th." I'm like, "Dude, maybe you don't need to be driving."
Remember that day I was pulling out of 7-Eleven and that guy was pulling across
Oh, Lord.
Street?
Yeah, I remember I was in the car with you.
It's a wonder I didn't get killed.
She got married to her first husband. Well, he didn't like the car, so he gave it back to my dad.
He wouldn't let me keep it.
Yeah, he wouldn't let her keep it because it was a gas hog, and he was kind of a weird hippie freak, kind of, I don't know. He's Dutch. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but he's just strange. He's a strange thinker. Love him to death, but he's a strange thinker.
I don't love him.
No, there's no love lost.
I don't know
if he's watching that. If he's watching this right now, dude, are you mellow yet? That's an inside joke.
I don't know if it'll ever be known.
I don't know. But anyhow, car sit. And then I turned 16. Well, it got passed down to me. I had it, about a week? And I run it through a cinder block wall. Like, a Big Mac in one hand and a Coke in the other. And I'm listening to some music and come around this curve. And there was a red light, just turned red. And I slammed them brakes on, and that car went sliding and went right into a cinder block wall.
Missed a phone pole by just
missed a phone pole by about that much. Took out a hospital sign. Laid that sucker flat.
You ought to see the car. It was totaled.
No, it wasn't that bad.
Well, it looked pretty bad to me.
Yeah, but see, the problem was that was 1980. We were fixing to move back here. We were still living in Utah. And my dad just did not have the time or the means because all his money was in us moving.
Yeah.
So he gave the car away. But and then Ron, you remember Ronald Spears?
Yeah, he took it.
He drove that sucker, I don't know, for years. And he ended up selling it to some kid. I don't know where it's at. Lord, I do. You talk about it's a cursed car. The car was cursed, man. It was like was that Christine? Just like Christine. Of course, it never drove itself, and then the radio never actually talked to me or anything like that. But it was something wrong with that car, man. But it was a beautiful car. I loved that car.
Yeah, it was nice. Had the gas tank underneath the back license plate. You don't see that anymore.
Never forget, you just filled it up. We was at somewhere visiting at one of your friends. And you went to pull away, and as soon as you did, the gas went gushing out of the back end of it. And they're over there hollering, "Stop, stop!" She forgot to put the gas cap back on.
I locked him in the trunk once and snuck him in the drive-in.
That's weird. There's cars back then. They put the gas tank in the exact spot where if you was going to get rear-ended, it'd turn it into a bomb. I mean, Pintos, they said, Pintos were bad. But they weren't the only cars that had gas tanks in the back end. They about all of them had them in the back end. And then the next car that I had was a 68 Chevy pickup. Guess where the gas tank was in that? It's in the cab, right behind me, right behind the seat.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So you get in an accident and that sucker ruptures, well, you're going to have gasoline all over you. I mean, I guess they thought, the way they was thinking, these college graduates, is, where's the safest place to put a gas tank on a pickup truck? Oh, right behind the driver. Because after all, why would you do that? And I've seen, you remember Driver's Ed?
Yeah.
You remember the one safety film that they showed us where the dude got hit by a train and he was driving an old Chevy pickup?
I almost didn't get my driver's license over that film.
Yeah, well, it caught fire and they showed the charred body sitting behind the wheel. I'm the same way. Oh, I don't know if they do that. They don't even have driver's ed here in Kentucky. I don't know some of these schools. I guess it's too much of a liability or something.
Anna, she took a defensive driving course in college, but as far as the school down here, I don't think they offered it.
They don't have it anymore. But
they need to.
God, they used to show us them gory, bloody film. I'll never forget the one where the gal was driving drunk and she veered off the road and they just cut a bunch of trees down. You remember that? And the trees were about that high off the ground. Well, you can't see anyhow, the trees were about 4 foot off the ground, the tree trunks, and showed this car. Of course, it's showing the cameras coming up behind the cars. Like, the car doesn't look all that bad or anything, and then it swings around to the other side, the driver's side. Well, what had happened is she wasn't wearing her seatbelt, and the door popped open when she drove off the side of the road and got pinned between the door and the tree trunk, and then they're showing her cut in half of her laying. And I'm like,
Death on the Highway.
I think that's what it was called. I bet it's on YouTube. I bet you.
It is on YouTube because I looked it up because I wanted to show it.
It's morbid. It's like, who wants to drive after seeing that?
They told me when I was in driver's ed, they said, you can choose to watch this or not. And, teenager, and I was nosy. And I thought, how bad can it?
Not going to.
And I'm like, how bad can it be? But when I was leaving the classroom that day, I had to walk down the
What has she got on this computer?
Fallout
You see
Shelter.
some of the stuff popping
Not
up.
what? I don't know what that is.
Have no idea. Yeah.
Oh, that's a YouTube channel. I'm getting a lot of these notifications because I'm supporting a lot of people. And I think
Fallout Shelter 3. Huh?
Yeah, and I think
I wonder if that's Bethesda Fallout Shelter or just a Fallout Shelter.
I've got the bell.
Doomsday Preppers.
I got the bell on. I think he's a gamer.
We'll check him out. Oh, speaking of Fallout, I love Fallout. Of course, if y'all see my channel. We lost
everybody.
Apparently we did. What happened? Nobody's here.
Are we that boring?
I guess. Well, we'll keep going because, the reruns.
Yeah.
I guess everybody just popped in and left.
When this goes to video, just hit that support
You got
button.
8 likes.
Yeah.
Rob liked you.
And
Maria, she's kind of in and out
put
there.
A comment.
She's going through some
if
stuff.
I've not got on your channel, put a comment down and I'll sure check out your channel.
Carla, she's taking some kittens over, so that's why she's not in here.
But as you can see, we went through a lot with abuse, but we're still here.
You know what? You come through it.
You come through it.
You survive. You will survive it. And let's see if I can do that right here. Yeah. You keep talking. I want to do something real quick here.
Kentucky Ranger's going to do something while I'm talking, so.
Yeah, ain't going to see you.
But anyway, whenever this goes to video, if you've got somebody that's going through abuse, let them know about this video. Let them know that they're not alone, that there's help out there for them. Whether it's a man that's going through abuse or a woman, it don't matter. Abuse is abuse. And it happens both ways. It's just that men don't like to talk about it as much because they feel embarrassed, but there's nothing to be embarrassed about. I've known a lot of very abusive women.
Oh, yeah.
That I just felt so sorry for the guy and some of them weren't even their spouse. They were dating. They hadn't even got to that point yet. And the woman had them so beat down that they just, completely lost all their self-esteem and everything. So
Here we go. I'm going to put
the
National Abuse Hotline.
Oh, cool.
In case anybody needs to talk to somebody. So that's that.
Yeah, you find somebody.
That'll pop up on a rerun. Anyhow, that's the 800 number to the National. Let's see what it's called, the National Domestic Violence Hotline.
Thank you.
So that'll get you to
See,
that.
I wish that I had done that years ago.
Keep talking. I'm just.
He's typing in, but nobody deserves to be belittled, to be physically abused, to be put down, to be degraded. And my first husband, it was more verbal than it was physical, which is just as bad. And what he would do, he would not only degrade me behind closed doors, but in front of his friends. And of course, nobody knew what was going on. So he was one way in front of his friends and his family. He was different behind closed doors. And so nobody really knew what was going on other than my family. And I attempted suicide over it. And if it hadn't been for my brother here showing up when he did that night, I wouldn't be here. And he can tell you I was awful close to dying.
Okay, the next number I'm posting, this is the National Suicide Hotline. So if you need to talk to anybody, these are 2 very important numbers.
Yeah,
the one on the top is a National Abuse Hotline, and the one on the bottom is the National Suicide Hotline.
There's help.
Oh, there's definitely help. There's programs in place that will get you out of those situations.
And a lot of these abusers, I guess a lot of them could just probably walk right over you and they could care less.
Yeah, they don't.
And it's not worth it. Your life is worth more than that. And there's help.
Yeah.
And there are people who care.
Oh, there's 2 back. We got 2 back.
Hello.
Howdy, 2. I don't know what 2 y'all are.
Yeah, I'm glad you stopped by. We're talking about domestic abuse and that men go through it too, not only women. It's just men have a tendency to not want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's like Carla wanted to start the hashtag #MenToo movement. And I said, honey, I think people might take it the wrong way. But no, men go through it. Just
They
like
do.
the story. And if you're just coming in, you'll have to watch the rerun of this. Life on a Trail. Hey,
it's good to have you here.
But you can watch the rerun of this and see the story that I was telling and everything. But yeah, I mean, abuse is abuse.
Yeah, it is.
No matter which side of it.
It's serious.
Yeah. But that was back again. I guess he's busy doing something.
But if you don't laugh, you cry.
No, you have to find a good place.
You have to.
And another real key is good friends. If you don't have good friends, seek out a good church. Somewhere where you can talk to people.
You need support.
Most churches, decent churches, they have counselors that will talk to you.
They will.
Seek out groups.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, just Google is a very powerful tool. All you have to do is Google grief counselors, grief.
I used to be, a pastor I used to have years ago, he worked for Pathways as a counselor. Yeah. And then I was in church with this other woman who was a counselor. So they're out there.
Well, I'm glad you're here too, Life on a Trail.
Yeah, I'm glad you stopped by.
But yeah, like I say, there's plenty of group support. And all you have to do is Google, find out where they meet. And I'm sure they've got contact information. You can call them. Alcoholics Anonymous, they're not the only people who meet in groups and discuss things.
No.
You have abuse groups, you have depression groups, you have marital counseling groups. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a group for everything. In fact, you don't even have to go anywhere. I guarantee you, somewhere there's a chat going on. Mm-hmm. Even here on YouTube, if you was to look, well, just like what we're doing right now, we're sitting here discussing it.
Hello, Farm. Oh,
Fat Boy. Hey,
Fat
how
Boy,
you doing,
yeah.
buddy?
Hello. We're doing good. How are you doing? Whenever I lost my husband, I was trying to find some.
Be right back.
Okay, I'll just keep talking. I was trying to find some grief share groups, and there, as far as I know, there's none close to me. So I started going on the Facebook. There were several private groups, closed groups on Facebook, and I started joining up with several of them. And there's a couple of them that's my favorite. And I actually needed a place just to, vent to other people who understood what I was going through. And then in the meantime, and then I was hearing their stories, so I found myself more encouraging them than they were me. And so there's not only the grief groups, like on the internet, like on Facebook, but there's all kinds of groups. They're for depression, domestic abuse. So if you can't find an actual group close to you, that is an alternative.
Yeah, well, like I said, online here, there's virtual groups, like what we're doing right now.
Hiking saved me, kept me sane after my divorce. That's the truth. Stuff like that.
Oh, that's another thing. You definitely get a hobby.
Do something, yeah.
Something. Painting, hiking, sightseeing.
I used to just get in my car and drive.
Doodling,
and play music
driving.
And drive, yeah.
See, I did that a lot because I was a truck driver. I drove and drove. Mm-hmm. I love driving. In fact, even right now, when I got a lot of it on my mind, I'll get in the car and I'll just point it. I ain't going anywhere. I'm just driving.
It's a good idea. Well, when you sit and you're idle, and your mind is idle, that's when all those emotions, your mind runs away with you.
But
woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah,
what did I do wrong?
That's another thing.
Why me?
Kind of in the middle of all the things that were going on, YouTube come along. Now that was back in the day. Your maximum you could upload was 15 minutes.
That's why I didn't get active on here.
But I started to see. I've always been a photographer, and that's the one thing that I buried myself in once the situation with the divorce and everything. Is I started getting back into photography, and then YouTube come along. And I got into the video thing, and I didn't necessarily get into the YouTube all that much until I was disabled in 2007. And sitting around, that's the one thing when you're disabled and chronic pain and you're sitting around doing nothing, you're a suicide waiting to happen.
That's the truth.
So I started making YouTube videos, and I started, Mondays with Mom. Uh, the first the first series, it kind of flopped. It came from that dollar place, but it's kind of fun. I'd go to these different dollar stores and I'd get cheap dollar stuff and I'd review it. But long way. Drove truck to the pad. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, I drove truck for 20 years, fat boy, till I blew my back out in 2007. And three failed back surgeries, and here I'm sitting.
They got an implant in his back now.
Yeah, I got an implant, and it's short circuit, and it's acting weird, so they're probably going to have to replace it. It was helping, but now it's more of a hindrance. It's sitting back there.
Yeah.
Last time they tried to adjust it, something happened. Man, it sent juice through my back where it shouldn't have, and it hurt. Oh my God, fat boy, there ain't a day goes by I don't miss it. I love truck driving. It was in my blood.
With you.
Yeah. Now that's one thing a lot of people they think, and trucking it is a lucrative business, but buddy, it's one you better be passionate about and love, because there is a lot that goes on as far as driving a truck.
Yeah.
You have to love it and live it, because if you just think it's a 9 to 5 that you'll never make it in trucking. Yeah, I miss it. I miss it every day. In fact, fat boy, what I do to kind of help me, one cool thing was kind of a godsend. A good friend of mine gave me the program because I couldn't afford it back at the time. Was farming simulator. I can buy trucks, rigs, and trailers and stuff, and I can get out there. And not that I'm a farmer or anything like that, but it's just cool. You can almost smell the diesel fuel when you're out there with the tractor plowing the fields and then hauling the grain. But yeah, it's in my blood, fat boy. That's definitely.
Our dad retired as a truck driver.
Yeah, he drove for Consolidated Freightways for 38, 40.
Lord, it was a 66 to 40. 96.
Yeah, so 40-something years. Yeah, he retired just before they kind of did whatever. I don't know what happened to them. I know what happened. They was wanting to bust the union. Anyhow, they did. So, yeah, he started with Consolidated Freightways, CF, Cornflake. And I started with PST out of Salt Lake City. They went out of business. That's who she went with me for 3 months.
I enjoyed it.
Then I went to Clearwater Trucking. That's a pretty good job. That really paid good. Pulling triples and Rocky Mountain doubles and all that stuff all over the place. Do they even have
triples out here? I never see any.
The only place you'll ever see a set of triples is if you go up north of the Ohio Turnpike.
Really?
They allow them on the Ohio Turnpike, but they have places at certain points along the turnpike, like marshalling yards, and that's the only places they're allowed to get off and do their thing. But yeah, Lord, that lasted for a while, and I had 3 paychecks bounced. They kind of went out of business.
Yeah.
I think the government stepped in and says, "Yeah, you're out of business." And then I worked for Kimberly Clark for about 2.5 years, and they shut that down and sold it off to Schneider. The trucking part, not Kimberly Clark. It's the most dangerous thing you hauled.
Did you ever haul hazardous material?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
Probably for Toyota batteries, car batteries. I worked for UPS. Full triples across Oregon. Yeah, Oregon.
Wow.
In fact, I tell you what, Life on the Trail, up in Idaho years ago, they were experimenting trying to figure out how to pull a set of 4 trailers, and they couldn't get it stable enough to work.
Oh, wow.
I mean, a set of triples, you're going on the interstates, like you're talking up in Oregon and Idaho, the interstates where the triples are allowed, it ruts the road so bad that you're sitting there and you're just constantly. Oh, how many times I'd get called in the scale house because I'd go to pass an RV or a car, and they'd come past me, and be like, "Well, what's their problem?" Well, what they do is they get up ahead of you, and they stop at the scale. Oh, that driver's drunk, and it happened 3 times. And they pull me in and said, "We'll just need to do a random sobriety check." And I says, "Random, huh?" I said, "Okay." But yeah, the triples they're fun. Uh, yeah, UPS, man, you got a good job.
Yeah,
They're
that's good
strict.
company.
Lord, UPS. I had quite a few buddies that used to stop, drink coffee out in Wyoming, and it's hard to get on at UPS. But once you're on, you're making real good money. Of course, you have to really keep your nose clean.
Thanks, Fat Boy, for stopping in. We appreciate that.
Okay, Fat Boy, that's cool. 20 years.
That's a long time.
See, you're there with where I was at. See, what killed me is we moved back here. See, Kimberly Clark went belly up, or the trucking part. I mean, they still make diapers and stuff. But we moved back here. I went to work for Lexington Cartage, and I've been hauling car parts for Toyota out of Georgetown, Kentucky for 11 years before I blew my back out. And what caused me to blow my back out, the life on the trailer, you'll probably, I'm sure you've pulled them before, is the curtain side trailers. And that's what they used to haul everything in. And I used to have to yank them curtains back and carry on. And then what happened is the last couple of years before I hurt my back, Toyota built some new docks at one of their plants there at the factory. They built the stupid dock too high. Well, instead of redoing it all, they got these wooden ramps out front, to lift the trailers up so that they're level with the dock. Well, the problem is the idiots didn't build the wooden ramps long enough, and these owner-operators and some of these other drivers, they would slide the tandems all the way to the center, to help get around, navigate, and then they drop them like that. Well, when the tandem slid all the way up, it ain't going to get up on that ramp. So they was forcing all the drivers to slide the tandems all the way to the back. Well, 53-foot trailer, you try pulling a 53-foot trailer up into Indiana with the tandem slid all the way to the back, if the cop catches you, you're over the bridge law, and you'll get fined. So all that time I'm having to slide the tandems up to make it legal, slide it back when I drop it, slide, and doing this every day, and the releases on some of them trailers old and rusted. I yank and pull and beat and bang. Well, you're doing that for like 2 years. Finally, I showed up to work one morning. I reached down there to grab that handle to slide it, and something popped in my back, and the rest is history.
I remember just before he did that, he was already in pain because he came up to my house, and I could tell he was
I was already suffering, but that particular morning, whatever was going on, it completely went. And I fell on my back, and that was it. They took me to the hospital, and I was done.
Yeah. Plus, he's had open heart surgery.
Oh, yeah, it don't end there. Yeah, and a few years later, well, first of all, let's talk about the diverticulitis that almost killed me.
I forgot, yeah, that was
bad. I got feeling really bad, and right here on my side it started hurting. It got to hurt so bad I couldn't hardly sleep. Went to the doctor. Well, come to find out, I had diverticulitis. They took me to the hospital. I was in the hospital for a week. Get hurt moving dollies. Oh, yeah.
My dad,
oh, dollies. I tell you what.
That happened to Dad.
Speaking about dollies, you see my pinky?
Ow. Did you break it?
Almost broke it off.
Oh.
This little part right here.
Oh, my gosh.
It got caught in the safety chain. I was dropping a dolly out, and I forgot to take the safety chain off the hook on the trailer. And it slammed to the ground. Well, it didn't have a little kickstand on it, and that chain took it, and my pinky was inside the link of the chain, and it squished my pinky. It didn't hurt. It gave me enough time that when I was looking at it, I was like, that's gonna hurt. And oh my God, my pinky swole up. Oh, it was awful.
I don't remember you telling me about that.
You remember my pinky being all wrapped, and it hurt.
It's been so long ago.
It hurt.
But remember when Dad?
You've done it. Oh no.
Oh.
Ouch. Well, you know what I'm talking about. It hurt.
What was that Dad injured himself on a dolly? Caused that nerve damage years ago.
I can't remember. I think
he had nerve damage
know what it
because of
was.
the dolly.
Yeah, he was moving a dolly, and some dollies, the way they're designed, they're counterbalanced with a tire, spare tire on them. And I think he was maneuvering it, and the tire, something happened, it fell off or something, and it yanked him and got away from him.
Truck driving is dangerous.
Oh, I tell you, trucking, man, any day you go by it, I miss it. I really miss it. But how was we talking about? So we moved back here. Okay, Lexington Cardinals, and the rest is history. Oh, diverticulitis. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in the hospital for a week with that. Then they ran a PICC line up here on my shoulder. So I had a PICC line. Cut fingers off. Oh, yeah, I believe it. Well, I'll tell you what, a buddy of mine, Lexington Cardinals, and that's something that's really dangerous. Truck driving is in front of the pendle hook. Yeah, you don't want to be anywhere around that.
I'm sorry, I'm stupid. What is that?
Pendle hook?
Yeah.
Okay, you got a dolly, and there's a round donut metal thing in the front of the dolly. It comes down like this. You know, the tires are back here.
Yeah.
It comes down like that, and there's like a big metal donut. Well, the back end of the trailer, there's a hook. It's called a pendle hook. And what happens is you have to run that and put that donut over it, and then you have to slap down the thing and lock it. And that's what hooks the dolly to the back of the trailer.
Oh,
to hook
okay.
The trailer behind the trailer that you're already pulling. Anyhow. But I had a friend of mine, he had his wedding ring got stuck on a metal rack or something, and the forklift driver was yanking it off the trailer. And before anybody could do anything, it ripped his finger plumb off his hand.
Oh, my God. Well, Dad never would wear a wedding ring.
I never would either. I had a gold chain. I'd wear it around, I'd wear it around my neck. But, you can see any jewelry on me. It's dangerous. But yeah, pendle, I'll tell you something else. This one day I was driving down the road, and I always have a habit when I'm passing other trucks to kind of look at them. Well, I was passing this Swift truck. He's pulling a set of doubles, and I just happened to look. The pendle hook was wide open. The only thing that was keeping that dolly on, and Life on the Trail knows what I'm talking about, is when you release the brakes on trailers with pendle hooks, there's an air ram. And what it does is it comes up and it locks onto to the hook. And the pendle hook, it locks on that hook from the dolly.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that was keeping that thing from coming loose.
Sure.
I got on the CB and I was hollering at him, and I was blowing the air horn, and he looked at me and flipped me off.
Well.
I was like, and this was the days before cell phones. If I'd have had a cell phone, I'd have called 911 and said, man, you got to stop this truck. But anyway, Swift drivers. Life on the Trail. Swift drivers, am I right? Swift drivers. Oh, Lordy. I don't tell all the stories of my parents or girlfriend. Yeah, you don't want to, because they'd force you. They'd be like, you need to quit. You need to get out of there now. Oh, that's funny.
That's what little bit I saw when I was traveling with him 3 or 4 months. I saw a lot. But I still enjoyed it.
But anyhow, I had to, what was it called? PICC line. I had to spend the next 5 weeks every single day going to the hospital getting antibiotics. I refuse to believe it. Well, you know what SWIFT stands for, don't you? I shouldn't say it. Anyway, I done opened a can of worms here. Well, Life on the Trail know what I'm talking about. I used to call them stupid, worthless, ignorant frickin' truckers. Of course, the depending on what company I was in, would be another word.
PST is poor starving.
I tell you, yeah, they starve you to death. But no, there's something about Swift. I don't know. And see, Life on the Trail knows what I'm talking about. Because there's they're what I call doormat companies. They're the ones you kind of have to do your thing for a couple of years to get enough experience to move on to a real trucking company. CRST, CR England. Oh Lord, there's a bunch of them.
Any of them in a long time.
But those companies they don't seem to be as bad as Swift. There's something about Swift.
Is it the company or the drivers?
The company, the drivers they hire. It's like, who are you? Where are you going to? Where are you finding these people? Are you going to a hobo camp or something? It's weird. Anyhow, I'm sorry. There's some good Swift drivers, I'm sure, out there. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bash them all. But if you work for Swift, you know what I'm talking about. You know, as soon as you can, you get out of that company.
High rate of turnover.
Oh, extremely. And there's a reason, because they can't wait to get enough experience to get out of there. Another thing, you want something really spooky? I talked to a Swift driver. In fact, I talked to a Schneider driver, and it was Schneider's the same way. You go out of trucking school and you start working for them, it only takes about 2 or 3 months. They'll have you out there training. They consider you, yeah, they consider that you've been on the road long enough to become a trainer. A trainer? You haven't been on the road long enough to realize you haven't even been through one winter yet, and they're going to have you out there training? Yeah, Life on the Trail. Oh. So here you got this kid. He might have one winter under his belt in like southern Texas, and now they're going to have him training, and now they're up there going across Donner Pass in the middle of December in a blinding blizzard. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's why Swift and some of them, it's just, it blows my mind.
Are they still in business?
Oh, yeah.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. Anyhow, this turned into trucker chat.
That's okay. It's interesting.
But
was that diverticulitis, was that before or after your heart attack?
Before. Well, see what had happened. The doctor, I can't remember, he had some big, long word about that long that was like, what it was, something, because diverticulitis, it's like a little pocket in your stomach, your intestine, and something gets in there and gets infected. And what happens as time goes on is it gets into your bloodstream. Well, mine, it got in my bloodstream and it landed in my liver. That's why it was hurting right here. Right here. That's where your liver is. And so your liver filters your blood. Well, it was filtering this crap, and then it got infected. I had to wear a drain bag for, oh my God.
Weeks, wasn't it?
Weeks, like 2 months. It was ridiculous. They finally took it out. I can really feel for people who have to have colostomy bags, because that's basically, even though it wasn't a colostomy bag, it was a drainage bag. It was miserable. Oh, Lord. Well, it was what? But 6 months later, I started getting these funky pains. It was more like heartburn kind of, but it wasn't really heartburn. It was like a weird heartburn. And it kind of come and go. And I was trying to think what the cardiologist called it something. I wasn't having heart attacks. I was having like an arrhythmia. What's it called? Because there's some people that have it. They give you nitroglycerin pills.
I know what you're trying to say, and it's left me.
Oh, I can't think of what they call it. And anyway, that's what was happening.
Angina.
Angina. That's exactly angina. And I wasn't recognizing that it was angina. I was thinking, I'll just take some Tums. And then it kind of cleared up, and then we came over here for Thanksgiving, and everything seemed to be cool.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And it was probably a week later. No, it wasn't even a week later.
No.
Like 3 or 4 days after Thanksgiving.
You were sick when you were.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling good at all. And so anyway, about 2 or 3 days after Thanksgiving, that pain hit me. Only now it kind of was radiating down my arm, and I could feel something weird in my jaw. So I sit there all day long. I was thinking, what the crap? No, this can't be a heart attack. Now I'm in denial. Oh, this ain't no way it's a heart attack. Ain't no way this. So it got later on in the evening. I went and took a shower. I was getting ready to go to bed. When I laid down, it really hurt. I could not lay down. I'm like, something's wrong. So I told Carla, I said, I gotta go to the hospital. She said, what's the matter? I said, I don't know. I said, there's something, I don't know if something's wrong with my stomach.
He had to drive himself.
So anyway, I drove to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as soon as we got there and I checked in, she's like, well, what's happening? It was scary. It was very scary. Anyway, she asked me, I said, well, there's something with my stomach. I'm not real sure. So I went to sit down, and while I was sitting there, that's when it hit.
At the
hospital? The actual heart attack. I had this horrible pain in my jaw and my arm, and I got up and stumbled. And Carla's like, what's the matter? I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. As soon as that happened, I don't mean to get emotional, but
it's a scary thing.
They opened the doors and they wheeled me in, and they had me on a gurney. My God, they run about 3 or 4 IVs. They was pumping me full of crap, and yeah, it just everything kind of got surreal from there. It was funny because they said one nurse, after being there for about an hour, she said, "Oh Lordy, he's converted. He's converted." Well, me and my goofy sense of humor, I said, "What, you bunch of Mormons or something? What, do you convert me? I ain't converting." They started laughing, and she said, "No, honey, you converted to a sign, a rhythm, a sinus rhythm." She says, "You stopped, and
your heart went back."
Yeah, my heart was finally got back to where it needed to, and then they were going to do a catheterization on me. They took me to the cath lab, and they went in there and was shooting the dyes and doing their thing and looking. Well, I had, I think, 3 arteries. 2 were at 90%. I think one was almost 100%. So they weren't going to cage me. They couldn't put those, those cages, what they call them, stents. They couldn't put stents in. I had to have open heart surgery, and so they rushed me to Lexington, and I mean, I was all over the place. They knocked me out and cracked me open, and that was a crazy week. I tell you what, I'd never had whatever the anesthesia they used. When I got up, I was in the ICU, and the nurse was sitting in the central nurses station in the ICU. Her hair kept moving off her head. I kept laughing. She said, "What's the matter, honey?" I said, "Your hair, it keeps moving." She's like, "That's okay, honey." He says, "You're coming out of the anesthesia." And then I spent probably 4 of the 5, what was I there, 5 or 6 days? 4 of the days that I was there at anesthesia, I kept seeing cats in the shadows, and then the TV that was hanging on the wall, it kept moving around. It's so weird.
Mm-hmm. That hard stuff is
it is. Now,
stuff.
Okay, now here's the real stupid thing. Okay, get home, I'm recovering, everything's cool, and it's been almost 2 weeks, and all of a sudden I get it in my stupid head, I need a cigarette. Yeah. I smoked. Life on the trail, I don't know if you smoke, but that's kind of part of trucking. If you don't, God bless you. But anyhow, so I got a pack of cigarettes. I got about halfway through that pack, about 3 or 4 days later. Well, guess what? Another heart attack, back in the hospital. Well, this time what had happened is one of the bypasses they put in had collapsed, and then they had to put a stent. So I've got a bypass with a stent in it. Then I quit smoking. I figured, okay, I'm done.
You got the message?
I'm done. I got the message. So anyhow, so now I got a stent. I got a big old scar. And, and another thing is where they cut your rib cage apart. That costal cartilage in there. One of them keeps popping every once in a while. Oh my God, that hurts. Oh, it hurts.
Oh, I can just see the pain on his face.
But yeah, and that's only been what, the last 4 years.
Yeah, I went through all that with JL. He had to have open heart surgery, and then he ended up. He had a massive heart attack. So it took him out of here.
Took him out. But well, he kept refusing to take any of the medicine.
He wouldn't.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't. Well, his diabetes. I think it was he wouldn't take his diabetes medicine. Yeah.
And I'm diabetic. I didn't realize I was diabetic till all this happened. But yeah, I'm on. Thank God I'm not on a whole lot. I've got myself down to where I'm taking metformin. I only take that once a day. I'm taking a cholesterol medicine. I can't remember what it's called. I'm only taking about 5 pills a day. So
that ain't bad.
Actually, no, I gotta say 5. So see, I'm taking, blood pressure medicine. I got 2 blood pressure medicines, cholesterol, the metformin. Oh, thanks, Life on the Trail. Yeah, I'll tell you what,
he's buddy. A whole lot better.
If you are smoking, you really, I'm not gonna get preachy about it, but it's gonna kill you. It almost killed me, but it's that 5th one I'm taking. I think I take 2 cholesterol pills. Anyhow, I'm
probably
taking
on that one that they advertised.
Well, I'm taking it, and the last time I went to my cardiologist, he says, "Man, I'm jealous of you." He says, "I said, why is that?" And he says, "You got better cholesterol than I do." I was like, "I guess that's a good thing." He said, "It's a very good thing." He says, "Whatever you're doing, you keep doing it." So I want to live. Well, my daughter has I have grandbabies. Yeah, I don't want to go nowhere.
My daughter thinks the world of him.
Yeah. Oh, Anna's a hoot. Never had the urge. Don't ever. Oh, 20 years driving a truck and you've never smoked? Oh, you realize you're an enigma? You're an enigma in the trucking industry.
I was the only one in the family that didn't smoke.
I'm sure you drink coffee. If you say you don't drink coffee, you must be a Mormon. You're a Mormon trucker.
Hey, I got Mormon friends. So.
Hey, I do too. But yeah, that's good though. I'm so glad to hear that. Don't ever.
Yeah, it's and too. Ever. I think that they're putting stuff in the
they're different nowadays.
The tobacco that they didn't 40, 50 years ago.
I've tried it. Does nothing.
I did too when I was younger, and it just never did nothing for me.
Yeah, see, before all this happened, they started putting these papers.
The glue?
No, they changed the formula, or they put something on the paper, and what it was is to keep, if you wasn't smoking the cigarette, keep people from burning their houses down. It put itself out with that chemical in there, and it made the cigarettes taste weird.
Really? I didn't know that.
Anyhow, yeah, no more smoking for me.
I'm just thankful that he made it through all of that.
Oh, yeah.
We're the only 2.
Yeah, we're it.
I'm the big sister, and it's my baby brother. We fought through and through, but it's like, I can hit him, but don't you touch him.
She did. She punched me in the nose once, almost broke my nose.
That was
I asked for it.
That was an accident.
She was walking down the hall, and I was standing there, and just as she come around the corner, I went, "Ah!" And she dropped a bag and boom, right in my nose.
Clean across the living room. How old was I? 14? I think I was about
15. No, 14. No, 15, because just before you started driving.
One time he's pestering me. He wouldn't leave me alone. He was a card. And I jumped over the bed to try to lunge at him, and I got tangled up in my bed, and I come down on my feet and broke my toe. You remember that?
Let's say there was one day we was aggravating each other, and then we got into, I'm sure if you got kids, you was a kid, got into the door slamming thing. I hate you, slam. I hate you more, slam. I went to grab that door and fling it open, and it hit my big toe and ripped the toenail plumb off of my toe. Oh, my God. I started squalling. Then she come in. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You remember that time that We got into it, and I threw a shoe
Threw a
at
shoe, and I ducked, and it took the storm door window out. And then we was playing tag.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I did something that made you mad. And you was chasing me, but you was gonna hit me, and you lost your footing and slipped, and your knee hit a cinder block.
I slid right into a cinder block.
Gassed her knee.
I had to have stitches.
Yeah, that was oof.
Our mom was in Florida. Our dad was out on the road driving truck, and so this old woman that was taking care of us took me to the hospital, and I'm laying there with no family around, and all these Japanese doctors standing there around me. Scared me to death.
Hey, Lordy.
That was in
Maria,
1970.
give me a hug. She's online. I think we've kind of.
Anyway,
we're almost an hour and a half here.
Yeah, we didn't mean to go on and on, but remember one thing: if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah.
So if you're going through something, laughter is good like a medicine. Just find your support group somewhere.
Exactly.
There's somebody who cares. There's still people who care. We care.
And then another thing you need to do is at the end of this is go in and edit and put those numbers down in the description box. That way anybody can see
those numbers.
Suicide prevention hotline
the abuse.
Spousal. It's not. Well, yeah, it's spousal abuse. Anyway, the domestic abuse hotline. And Life on the Trail. You probably come in here. We started talking trucker stuff. It's turned into a trucker chat. It
started out spousal abuse.
Yeah, it started out as spousal abuse and my story, and we ended with trucking on the road and Swift.
Well, that's why.
Oh Lord, here comes the Swift. Everybody get off the road.
I just named it Live with Kentucky
Live with
Ranger.
Kentucky Ranger.
We're liable to get into anything.
Lord have mercy. But yeah, we need to get off of here, and I'm starting. My voice is going.
Yeah, and these chairs are very uncomfortable.
And another thing, because I think you're the only one on here, Life on the Trail. I don't know if you've seen Maria Give Me Hugs. She's cool. She just went live. Might want to go over there and show her some love. She's having a rough time right now.
Oh, is she?
But yeah, I think it's a good spot to. Cause we don't want to make it too long because people see that 3-hour live stream. I'm not watching it. So.
Yeah. You have a sibling abuse.
Sibling abuse. Yeah, that's what we needed back in the day.
My parents used to tell me, someday he's going to get bigger than you.
That's right, and I did.
But by that time,
I was chill. I was okay.
He's been awful good to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'd do without each other.
We've been through a lot.
He's helped me through a lot, and I hope I've helped you through some things.
Oh, yeah.
But you're never alone. There's somebody out there that cares. There's still people who do. But anyway, we'll get off of here.
It's good talking to you, Life on the Trail. I tell you what, if I haven't subscribed to you, I'm gonna go subscribe to you.
Me too. I will, absolutely.
Oh, it's been awesome talking to you. I'll see what's going on over there, fellow trucker.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Coming here and talk about spousal abuse. Met a fellow trucker.
Well, it's good, to have somebody. Because it takes somebody that's been there to understand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, life on the road, it's
rough.
Trucking, you've got to love it. Like I said, if you don't love it, you'll never make it. Yeah. So anyhow, I guess we'll get off of here. And,
you will
God bless y'all.
God bless you, and we'll catch you again.
Catch you on flip flop. Keep the shiny side up, the greasy side down. I'm 10-10 on the side. 10-4. We'll see y'all. Bye.
Okay. Now, I like that thumbnail.
That's funny.
Do I have to wait till this goes to video?